Have you ever reached the end of a week, looked at your completed to-do list or your bank balance or, I don't know, your social media notifications and just felt empty?
Yeah.
Like you were busy, you were productive, but you have this sinking suspicion that life actually just slipped past you while you were looking down at your desk.
That is the classic definition of the daily grind. And today, we're holding up a psychological mirror to that exact feeling. We're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating composition by Guru Arjan Devji. It's set in Rag Goojaree.
And for listeners who might not be familiar with the structure of these texts, the
Yeah.
rag is, well, it's the musical mode, right? It sets the emotional stage.
It does, yeah. Rag Goojaree is often associated with prayer and, heartfelt petition. It's the sound of the soul realizing it needs help. The text addresses this universal human condition of running out of time, or audheh,
Yeah.
while we're distracted by all the wrong things.
Right, let's get into those distractions because the text uses this incredibly vivid imagery of collecting wealth shell by shell. Kauddee, that feels very intentional.
Oh, absolutely. It's a reference to cowrie shells, which were historically used as the lowest possible form of currency.
So it's not about making millions.
No, the imagery isn't of a king sitting on a pile of gold. It's of a desperate person basically scrounging, scraping together pennies. And the text describes the method as kapaTe, which means deceit.
So it's the hustle.
Exactly. Running around using various ways and schemes just to add one more tiny shell to the pile. The text calls this dhaa, or business.
But looking at the source material, it seems like this business operates at a massive net loss.
That is the core argument here. While you are hyper-focused on collecting these shells, the source says you have completely forgotten to sing the glorious praises.
Meaning you're missing the actual treasure.
Right. You're trading inner peace and spiritual virtue for literal pocket change.
That's the tragic irony of it. We work ourselves to the bone thinking we're building a fortune, but in the spiritual economy, we are basically going bankrupt. And the text suggests this isn't just a passive drifting process, we're actually being hunted.
Yes, it introduces the concept of Maya, which is worldly illusion or attachment, but it uses a very specific, intense title for it. Mahamohani, the Great Enticer.
The Great Enticer. That sounds really predatory.
It is predatory. The text explicitly states that this enticer consumes you, which is interesting because we usually think we're the ones consuming things, you know? We consume content, food, products.
But this completely flips the script.
It does. The pursuit of these shells eats your time, it eats your peace and your lifespan. It's not a neutral distraction. The source says forgetting the divine leads to awful pain beyond measure.
It reminds me of the phrase, like being consumed by work. You think you're the master of your domain because you're accumulating all this stuff, but actually, the stuff is eating you alive.
Perfectly said.
So if the trap is active and it's predatory, what is the escape plan? Usually in these scenarios, self-help gurus tell us to work harder or just be more disciplined.
The text actually advises the complete opposite of that. You cannot out-hustle Maya.
But what do you do?
The solution offered is surrender. In the final section, the tone shifts dramatically from a warning to this really humble plea. It says, "Show mercy to me. Do not hold me to account for my actions."
Wow, that is a radical pivot. Do not hold me to account. I mean, we spend our entire lives keeping score who owes us, what we've earned, and the solution is to ask the divine to just throw away the ledger.
Because if you play by the ledger, you lose. You've only collected shells. To get the real treasure, you literally have to stop counting. The text talks about taking Saranio, taking sanctuary.
And the destination for that sanctuary is beautiful. The Suk Sagar, the ocean of peace.
Think about that contrast for a second. You are frantically clenching a fistful of dry, hard shells while standing right next to an entire ocean of peace. The text argues that the offer pain comes from holding onto the shells.
And sanctuary comes when you open your hand to let them go.
Exactly.
It just reframes the whole daily grind narrative. The frantic running around isn't necessary. It's a choice we make because we're afraid to let go.
And the ocean is always right there. You just have to stop letting the Great Enticer distract you long enough to actually step into it.
So here's a thought for you to carry with you today. If you stop counting your shells right now, your status, your savings, your endless to-do list, would you feel like you have nothing? Or would you finally be able to see the ocean of peace that has been waiting behind you this whole time? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.